so I needed to make another video, a follow-up video on the first one. In case you're new to my channel, my name is Pierse and this channel is called Insight. It's basically where we just talk about new technology that ends up flying under the radar. Anyway, so I wanted to make a follow-up video on the Nreal Air glasses video that I made, because I know that Nreal recently released the Nreal Air glasses, the AR glasses, in America. And originally when they first came out, I believe they were exclusive to only Europe and Japan. So, you know, they weren't ready to release them in America yet, but recently they released them, and they made a bunch of new like updates that are really cool. Like I remember, if you go back and watch my first video, you see that there were like quite a few things that I liked the glasses overall in general, but so one of the things that I didn't like was the Nebula app that you had to download on your phone to, you know, use the I guess you could say I'd call it like, I don't know, like the software suite that comes with the glasses. But the thing, and the reason why I didn't like it is because it had like a lot of problems with it. Like it just didn't work very well or very smooth or anything like that. But you know, ever since they released the glasses in America, they actually updated the app, and they ended up fixing a bunch of problems that at first I, you know, was complaining about. And one of the things that they ended up fixing was the screen tearing issue. So at first, if I remember correctly, there was like whenever you would have multiple windows open on the app, like multiple screens open on the app, there was a lot of screen tearing. So if you were in 3 degrees of freedom mode, which is called 3DOF mode, there was a lot of like screen tearing if you had more than one virtual screen open at a time. And I remember, like, even if you just had 2 virtual screens open at the same time and one of them was playing a video or something, there was a bunch of screen tearing. It was so bad to the point where the Nebula app was basically unusable, and I just didn't like it at all. I pretty much just primarily used the glasses in air casting mode, which is when the glasses just like cast your smartphone's screen over to the glasses, and you can just use all the default apps that you already have on your smartphone, you know, through the glasses. And I remember like none of the features really worked all that well, like on the browser page of the on the built-in browser on the Nebula app. And ever since you know, they released the glasses in America, they actually updated the app, and they fixed a bunch of problems that I you know was talking about in the first video. So if you like, I recently just decided to, you know, reinstall the app and plug the glasses in. It pushed an update out to the glasses as soon as I plugged them in, and holy, like, jeez, like I don't know how to, like, they really improved the user experience of the Nebula app. Like, it went from pretty much unusable to like very usable. Not just usable, like a good experience. I'm shocked. Like, I didn't expect Nreal to, I didn't actually expect them to update the app and fix all the minor issues, because at first the glasses were only exclusively in I guess you could say Europe and Japan, and honestly in Europe there weren't that many people that were like picking them up or making videos on them, as far as I knew. And I knew like quite a few people did pick them up in Japan, but you know, pretty much had the same complaints that I had. And ever since they released them in America, they actually updated the app. So one of the first improvement that they fixed straight away that I can list is the screen tearing issue. There is no more screen tearing when you have multiple windows open. Like, I can't stress how big of an improvement this is. If they just updated the app and all they did was fix the screen tearing issue, it would go from unusable to usable, right? Like the app, I wouldn't necessarily call it a good experience, but it would go from unusable to usable. But on top of fixing the screen tearing issue, they actually updated a bunch of other things in the app, like a bunch of things, including the 3DoF mode, and the they have a bunch of new features like on the app. So one of the new features that they added to the app is called surround mode, particularly, and it's in the browser of the user interface, like on the Nreal Air. And surround mode, when you hit surround mode on the browser, it basically opens up 4 50-inch like screens, virtual screens, like hovering in front of you. And initially when you first click it, it'll just open up one, but if you look to the side, there will be an additional screen with a plus sign on it, and you can click the plus sign to open up like more screens basically. And I think you can get up to like 4 50-inch screens. I think the screen size is actually a little bit bigger than 50-inch, but you can get up to like 4 like huge screens, like just floating right above, like right in front of you, and you can load whatever you want on them. I mean, it's a browser, you can have whatever web pages you want on it, and it's pretty sick. Like before, this feature would have been completely unusable because of the screen tearing when you had multiple virtual screens open. But now that they actually fixed the screen tearing issue, like it's 100% like, it's not just usable, it's a really cool experience. It's something that you guys have to try to understand just how like amazing of a feature this is. It almost eliminates the need to even get like multiple monitors for like your desktop setup. If you just buy these glasses, you don't even need to buy multiple monitors. You could just have these glasses and have like 4 50-inch virtual screens floating in front of you. And as I've already said in the previous video, the actual quality of the virtual screens that are like floating in front of you is very sharp, and they're very good. Like the colors are fantastic. They're using Sony micro OLED displays in the glasses, so the colors look fantastic. The sharpness is fantastic as well, because the pixel density on those displays is really high. So there is no screen door effect or anything like that like you'd see on a VR headset. It's very sharp and very good looking, like the colors, and they get surprisingly bright. Now apparently they're rated up to only about 400 nits in brightness, the displays, but let me tell you this, it doesn't look like 400 nits. It looks way brighter than 400 nits, and it's probably because it's like so much closer to your eye than a typical display would be. So yeah, they get really bright. Like I normally have them on like the 3rd lowest setting. I normally have them down pretty dim because they get really bright. But yeah, it's a fantastic experience when you have like 3 50-inch virtual screens like just hovering in front of you. So that's called surround mode, and the reason why it's called surround mode is because the screens are actually a little bit curved, so they're like curved around you a little bit, and it's just so immersive. It just looks so good, like when you have multiple web pages just loaded up, like you're just doing your thing. I haven't actually tested out whether it supports mouse and keyboard yet, and I hope that they added mouse and keyboard support to the app, because that would be a game changer. That would be an absolute game changer, because the way you currently navigate the user interface is using your phone. It uses the gyroscope on your phone to basically measure, like basically be able to tell where you're pointing it, and you use your phone as like a laser pointer, and there's a little trackpad on the phone screen, so you use the phone screen as a trackpad to like scroll and click, and it works really well. I'll give them this. It, like when it comes to like the glasses themselves, don't have like too many, they don't come with a remote or anything like that. They're expected to be used with a phone, and considering they expect you to control everything in augmented reality with your phone, they actually did a pretty good job at implementing the way you navigate. But it would be great if they also added keyboard and mouse support, so that way you could just have like a cursor like hovering above these virtual screens, like your mouse cursor just hovering above these virtual screens, and you can just like do whatever you want, and you could use an actual physical keyboard to type. that would be fantastic, like if they have that. But I don't know if they have it yet or not, because I haven't actually tested it myself. I will, I'll test that sometime soon and like put it down in the comment section below and let you guys know. So yeah, another really cool feature that they added is called waterfall mode. Now waterfall mode is basically like, imagine having like a 100-inch ultra wide screen, right? Like I don't know if you guys ever seen a Samsung Odyssey, super ultra wide, 50-inch display. But it's kind of like one of those, but in vertical orientation, but also a lot bigger. So it's like it's gotta be bigger than 100 inches. It's pretty massive. And it's just like, at first I was like, why would anybody want this? But then like I loaded up Reddit and I was just so, I don't know what to say. It's like you could see the whole board on that vertical screen. It's pretty amazing. And on the side of the vertical screen, there's like extra windows that are open, like extra tabs, and you can like switch between the tabs if you just click on the side, like on those virtual little windows that are open. One more really cool feature that they added, well, I guess this isn't really a feature, it's more of an update on an existing feature that they already had on the previous version of the glasses, and on the previous version of the app. And it's called I believe it's called free use mode or something like that. It's when you can just decide how many virtual screens you want open, and you can decide on the size of those screens, like where they are, where they're placed, and the angle of the virtual screens as well as the distance and everything like that. So you have full control over the layout of the actual virtual displays that are in front of you. But the problem with this feature previously was that it didn't work very well, as in like when you would click free use mode, it would just open up one window in front of you, and that was fine and all, but the one window that it would open up in front of you was like, I can't remember if it was the largest size that they could open, like the largest size window you could have, or if it was like just a single like 30-inch or 34-inch 16:9 screen in front of you. But one nice thing that they did now is that if you have multiple windows open, let's say in surround mode, and you wanna scale it down a bit, so you wanna just scale it down a bit, or change the orientation of the screens, or where they're placed, the location of the screens and whatnot, you can actually just you can click free use mode, and it will scale all the windows down to like 34-inch, I guess you could say, displays, or 27-inch displays, and it would like automatically align them all to fit within the FOV that you're seeing, and it works really, really well. So like it will align them in like a triple monitor setup kind of way. Like I don't know if you guys have ever seen a triple monitor setup on a desktop before, but it looks a lot like that. And the cool thing is that you can add as many windows as you want. I think there is a limit, like 4 or 5, I'm not really sure, but you can add a bunch of windows, and you can have whatever you want running on those windows, and you can easily change the size of those windows and the angle and the orientation as to where they're placed. They improved upon that feature quite a bit. It's way more, I guess you could say, intuitive now. It's a lot smarter now than it used to be. Before you were just like kind of like if you clicked free use mode and you had multiple displays open, it would be kind of like all over the place. But now it like automatically aligns them in like a triple monitor setup, and it just looks really, really good. It's like so much more convenient to use, and it's quite like fantastic. I'm not gonna lie, it's really, really good. But yeah, and I've also noticed that they added an app store on the within the user interface of the glasses, and currently they only have about like a few games on there that you can try out. I personally haven't really tried out any of the games, but one thing that I can say is that like it would be really cool if we could get like some native apps on the app store, like Discord or Steam Link or something like that, where we could like log into Discord. So that way, like you wouldn't need, I mean, you could just always use the browser version of Discord, but it would be nice if there was like a dedicated app, or you know, anything really, like Xbox Game Pass or Steam Link or something like that was there. Now you could just use all of those apps through Aircasting just on your phone, and that works perfectly fine as well. But it would be nice if I could do it within inside of Nebula, because when you're using, like, let's say Steam Link on your phone to play a game and you're using it through Aircasting, it basically just casts the screen of what's currently playing on the phone over to the glasses. And the reason why I'd like an app like Steam Link or Xbox Game Pass or Discord on, I guess you could say, Nebula, would be because you imagine having like a 35-inch or even a 40-inch screen open on the side with like just Discord open on the side, and like having another screen in front of you which is a bit bigger, like let's say 50 inches, and you're just playing a game on that one. That would be sick. You know, that would be really, really cool. So, you know, Nreal, if you're watching this video, and you're probably not, but if you are, please try and get you know, the like Discord and Steam Link you know, onto the app store of the Nebula, with inside of the Nebula user interface of the Nreal glasses. It would be pretty cool if, you know, we could do stuff like that. It would open up so many more cool ways to use these glasses. But that's really about it in terms of my experience so far. Honestly, it's night and day compared to like how the software was previously to how it is now. It's like it was straight up unusable before, but now it's like a straight up a good experience. Like I actually want to use the Nebula, you know, software on my phone when I'm using the Nreal Air glasses. I don't just immediately want to go into Aircasting. I actually want to use the AR space that they have. I just thought I needed to make this update video on the Nreal Air glasses since they did actually update the software and improve all of the features inside of it. But they, you know, they do still have a little bit of a ways to go, because while they did eliminate the screen tearing, one thing that I have noticed is that if you have multiple windows open, actually it's not even if you have multiple windows open, it's pretty much anywhere in the user interface. If you're turning your head and, you know, like looking from screen to screen and stuff like that, the actual screens for just like for just that instance when you're turning your head becomes a little bit blurry. It becomes a little bit fuzzy, and like it's fine because as soon as you like lock on to look at something, it's perfectly clear, nice and sharp. It looks very, very clean. But that instance when you're like turning your head and looking around, it's just like, you know, it's a little bit blurry in the moment when you're turning your head. And it's not really, this is me nitpicking. Like this isn't like an actual problem or anything like that. It's not distracting at all or anything like that, because normally when you're turning your head and you're looking from one screen to another screen, there's a little bit of natural blur from your eyes anyways. But it's just that in this instance it is a little bit noticeable, but it's not something that breaks the experience. It's just me nitpicking, and the only reason I'm nitpicking like this is because they've improved the AR space so much from where they previously were, and if they could just fix that one tiny issue, it would be perfect. Now it's not really a problem. Like I said, it doesn't break the experience. It's still a really, really good experience. Honestly, it's probably the best browsing experience that I've ever had. And you know, I previously used to have a dual monitor setup, and then I've switched over to the Samsung whatchamacallit, it's I think it's called the super ultra wide Odyssey, you know, G9 or something like that. But it's basically a super ultra wide display where you can have multiple windows open. But like the experience on the browsing experience on the Nebula app is like as good as using a browser on a super ultra wide display, if not better, because you're having even larger screens open, and like you can have multiple of those screens just like surrounding you, and it's such a cool experience, honestly. So that's really about it. Another, I guess you could say one more like really nice feature that they actually fixed was when it comes to the tracking. So there's 3 degrees of freedom mode, which works really well now. You know, they fixed the screen tearing issue. But there's also the mode when you turn it off. Normally it would just be like a still, like when you turn off 3 degrees of freedom, it would just be like a still image like in front of you. So it'd be more like a, I guess you could say you can't really turn your head to look around it. It would just be like whatever you see is what you see like in front of you, and that's about it. And it moves as you move the glasses and whatnot, and that's fine and everything like that. It you know, it works fine. Like if you tilt your head, the image, the virtual screen, I guess you could say that you're staring at, would also tilt the same angle that you tilted your head. And I know that some people, like I remember I let one of my friends test the glasses out for a bit, and he was saying that whenever he doesn't like it when he tilts his head, the image also tilts with his head. But they added this feature now where it's like they added stabilization to the image when you have 3 degrees of freedom turned off. So now if you if there's a lot of shaking or you tilt your head a little bit and stuff like that, the image itself doesn't tilt with your head, it stays still in like one place. So they not only improved the 3 degrees of freedom mode, but they also improved the mode when it's turned off. I really appreciate that. That's really good, because what that means is that if you're on like a plane or a bus or something like that, or a train, and you're using these glasses to like watch a YouTube videos or a movie or something like that, now if you know, if whatever form of transit you're using is shaking, or maybe you're in a car and you go over a little bump, it won't actually shake the screen in front of you as well. The screen will stay steady. So that's a really cool you know, update that they added. So yeah, in a nutshell, they seriously improved the AR space in the Nebula app, and it's like a night and day improvement. Honestly, it's become so much better than it was previously before, and I'm super happy that they did that, because previously I couldn't really recommend these glasses to people to buy if they were looking forward to having multiple virtual screens open at the same time for multitasking, or just to like have a more immersive browsing experience. But now I can 100% recommend them because they fixed all of the major problems that were previously plaguing this product. So, you know, and I just hope that they continue to, you know, add to the Nebula app, and they continue to, and they have a little app store within the Nebula app within the AR space, and I hope that they actually add apps to that AR space, like Netflix, you know, and Twitch and stuff like that, so that way you can have multiple windows of those things open. I mean, you could do that in the browser, but like I said, it would be cool if I could use something like Steam Link and also have like, you know, Discord or something like that running in the background. It would be a really cool setup, and I seriously hope that they added keyboard and mouse support to the AR space, because if they did, then this could actually be a viable, I guess you could say, option, instead of like if you have a PC or a laptop, this could actually be a viable option to get instead of getting a actual physical monitor. Like it could be an actual replacement for a TV or a physical monitor. It's that good. Like it really is that good. I guess you won't ever really know just how good the experience is until you try it for yourselves, but all I can say is that it's pretty wicked. Like it's pretty sick. So that's about it for my update for the Nreal Air glasses. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and yeah, I'll catch you guys another time. Peace.